Hello there, Internet. Mogwai here, and I got yet another MTG Arena video for you guys today. Today, we are going to keep things quite simple. We're going to go Sultai, we're going to mill ourselves, we're going to only play creatures and lands, of course, and we're going to beat down our opponent easily with it. We have a deck built around the HUSKBUSTER Swarm. This is an 8-drop initially. That's a 6/6 with Menace and Death Touch, but an ability that says this spell costs 1 less to cast for each creature card you own in exile and in your graveyard. The fact that it includes cards in exile is really interesting and means that there's more potential for deck building around this card than initially meets the eye. But today we're going to keep things quite simple because we have a full creature lineup that is aiming to get this HUSKBUSTER Swarm to go down to 1 mana as quickly as possible. So for 1 black mana, we can develop a 6/6 with Menace and Death Touch with, alongside our, big boy creatures that we got running on here. We just basically have a deck that tries to bully the opponent. We try to play creatures that are bigger than our opponents, and to the power of math and size, beat them down to a pulp. It really is that basic. It's a basic kind of deck, but it's sometimes the most basic decks are the fun ones, right? As what we have here is all creatures and 26 lands. We run Honest Rootstein as a 3-of because if we're running a deck with full creatures, we can play a creature that can allow us for our other creatures to cost 1 less. Also, Honest Rootstein works extremely well with our self-milling strategy because you can target a creature card in our graveyard and return it to our hand, potentially turning our graveyard into a bit of like a toolbox in that particular moment. As then we have a full set of the Cruel Somnophage and a full set of Urborg Lorgoyf. I think I actually pronounced that for the first time in my life correctly. We're going to put him here because we never really, never say never. Sometimes we do, but most often than not, we don't play this card for 2 mana. We play it for either 3 or 4. We kick it for 3 mana, or we kick it for 4 mana to mill ourselves either 3 or 6 cards in total, as Cruel Somnophage and Deathcat Marionette and the Ancient One are our 2-drop plays of choice on curve. The Ancient One cannot attack or block unless there are 8 or more permanent cards in our graveyard. Our entire deck is comprised of permanents. There's not a single card within our deck that is not a permanent, which means that we know exactly when the Ancient One will be online, and we can enable that through just milling ourselves on curve, or in a pinch, we could use the Ancient One's ability to pay 4 mana and then draw a card and discard a card, and then we can do this alongside discarding the HUSKBUSTER Swarm, which will cost 8 mana. You see where I'm getting here, because what it says is after you discard a card this way, you target player mills cards equal to its mana value. So with Ancient One, we can proc its ability, and if we have HUSKBUSTER Swarm in hand, we can actually get the Descent enabled right off the bat and mill ourselves a fuck ton. So Ancient One can fulfill the role of Urborg Lorgoyf because of cards like HUSKBUSTER Swarm in the deck, and I really like that synergy, which is why I run this as a 3-of. It's also a very high power, high toughness creature, which is really important when we're running 3 copies of the Gitrog Ravenous Ride. This is our prime source of card draw in this deck, ladies and gentlemen. If we saddle either the Ancient One or, for example, the Cruel Somnophage or Urborg right here, Gitrog can sack it after connecting onto the opponent's life, and then we draw X cards, which X equates to its power. So if we sacrifice the Ancient One, we get to draw 8 cards and play 8 lands from our hand onto the battlefield tapped, which is an absurd tempo and value play that will kind of, most often than not, win us the game on the spot if we manage to actually proc it. So I like having the Gitrog as that sort of like late game bomb. As you guys can see, we have some big creatures, but we're not running stuff like the Emergence. Squirming Emergence, I think is the name of the card. We're not running any sort of spells that resurrect from the graveyard because we have some decent resurrection targets, but this deck is more about just developing creatures from our hand and making use of the high density of our graveyard to enhance the speed and the power of our plays. But we are really a mid-range deck. We're not a Reanimator deck in that sense, which is why we play Honest Rootstein instead of something like Squirming Emergence. And what I mean by this is that Gitrog is a great tool to push a great bomb for the end game, but most of our curve is on this area right here: 2 drops, 3 drops, and 4 drops. And in our 4-drop slot is when we have all the interaction the deck wants and needs. We got Chupacabra Echo, we got Sultai Resurrected, and we got Skyfisher Spider. 3 copies, 2 and 2 of each. These all have very, very similar effects. The Skyfisher Spider can sack something like a 9 Vermin that we play early on to destroy any non-land permanent, while also providing us with a potential health gain as well, which can be very key. Chupacabra Echo is there as a 3 of over these other 2 though, because he requires less of a board state for us to be able to play him, right? Chupacabra Echo has the Phantom Land Descent, gives -X to a creature, where X is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. Again, our entire deck is comprised of permanents, so every single time we mill, we're going to be feeding the Chupacabra Echo. And Chupacabra Echo in this deck specifically is far better than the old Chupacabra, which was a 2/2, because this is a 3/2. And as a 3/2, it's just a more presence, a bigger presence on the board. English. And overall, it's a really, really good option for us to just be able to interact with the opponent and destroy their creatures that are threatening us. Sultai Resurrected provides a full-on creature all-permanent deck to run instant speed, counter spell, interaction, while also destruction as well. Sultai has a tremendous effect that is only balanced by the fact that you're drawing your opponent a card. You know, fun fact, if this card would have been released with Bloomburrow, it would have probably been a gift a card mechanic. But Sultai, yeah, gifts, sure. But Sultai also offers us the ability to just shut down anything. And against something like a control deck, for example, with board wipes, absolutely essential for us. As then we have the Deathcap Marionette to give us a little bit of extra presence early on with a Death Touch. And then we run a total of 26 lands with a full set, almost a full set of the Restless Reef as our man land of choice, as it can allow us to mill us 4 cards and pump up our Cruel Somnophage and the likes of Verborg upon attack, which is very, very neat. Everything else is there to just ensure that we have just enough distributions to really cast our spells. We have 21 sources of black because we need the black mana to cast multiple HUSKBUSTERs potentially. We have 2 sources here for Chupacabra Echo, and overall a very, very black dense deck, but we have just enough amount of blue and green to also be able to enable those plays as well. Prioritizing blue over green just a little bit because our earlier plays require it instead. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the deck list right there. It's quite basic, but it's super fun, and it just feels good to just keep dropping behemoth after behemoth and just play this Unga Bunga game plan that really puts, it's more successful than you would think. And really catches people off guard as well. So yeah, I'm gonna stop braving. Thank you guys for watching. I'm a sucker for these kind of decks, man, and I really want to showcase the HUSKBUSTER Swarm, and I think today's video does a good job at that. So hopefully you guys enjoy the games, and if you do, leave a like, share my videos, so if I get the views, man. I got no views. You got views? Give me views, please. I need views. So share my video, like it, all that stuff. Leave a comment for the algorithm fucking thing that is just I'm like sealed away. By fucking, I'm ossificated. Some people will catch that reference, but yeah, weird ramble to go on at the end of the intro. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoy the matches. I think it's a pretty dope deck, and I hope you like it as much as I do. And I'm gonna stop talking. Love you. Have a soul day. Enjoy the matches, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, here we go. Let's beat them down with all creature Sultai. Because we don't need anything else. Well, lands. We do need lands, but creatures and lands. That makes this deck really base, right? I assume. Okay, we got a 3-lander with all Sultai colors available, so we do keep this. We're going first as well. Can lead up with that swamp and then probably develop the Underground River for the Ancient One. Because it'd be nice to get this guy in early. Not vulnerable to cut down. Can still be just shut down by a Go for the Throat, but it's a creature that we just developed there. Our opponent can choose to ignore it, or they can opt to interact with it. That Blooming Marsh comes in. We're gonna Marionette because we're gonna preserve our Urborg Lorgoyf for the full kicker. And instead we're gonna develop you to mill just a little bit. Very nice. 2 creatures there. Good stuff. There's the deuce. The reason why I prioritized this over this, even though I could have attacked with that turn, is because I wasn't sure what I was going to do on turn 3. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swing with the Deathcap Mary. No, I misplayed. I misplayed. I had the attack set up. I don't know why. Look, that is textbook what not to do with this deck. Like, I have kicked Urborg, which allows me to go to 8 permanents and attack with the Ancient One, so I just goofed for no reason. But if they had a removal, then we can say that it didn't matter. Good, it didn't matter. Still a misplay, but yeah, we derped. Thankfully, this time it's of no consequence. But it's not about being thankful, man. It's about being... I get upset. I get very triggered when I misplay. Because it's a way for me to correct upon my mistakes, right? If derping like an idiot like this does not upset me, something is wrong. You know, like, we correct our shortcomings with frustration so that we don't have to feel that feeling again.
Together we can shift the current.
So TLDR, what I'm saying is, anybody who says you're too harsh on yourself can go fuck themselves, because I'm not. I'm realistic. And that play was absolutely batshit stupid of me. And I deserve to be called out for it.
I hope I change back when I leave.
We knocked that out. We played the Chupacabra to clear the way, even though we had an opening for the Gitrog. I want to make sure Grau does not untap, basically, as now they play the Thunder Trap Trainer. This is an Otter that allows them to fish for a card, but they're wide open. They're wide open for the Gitrog, and this time, let me actually, instead of just like rambling, let me think about what I'm gonna do before I do it. Because I am done making mistakes, man. Okay, let's go with you. We're gonna play Gitrog. We're gonna saddle the Urborg, and then we're gonna swing with everything. Because if they want to block into Deathcap Marionette, that's fine, because that'll pump up the Urborg and that would increase my draw. But this is the key moment. Us having this opening, we could deal more damage, but the amount of value that we're going to generate here is going to be so worth. Yeah, you don't have a good block, do you? And that's good for us, because that's 1 less damage. But now Urborg is 1 power stronger. That means we draw 8! And any land we see... We haven't played a land yet, by the way, so we do this, we do this, we do this. And they call it quit. And they go home. Okay, let's not misplay. Let's not fuck up like the basic combos of the deck in a video, Miguel, please. Let's refresh mentally. Round 2. Okay, Lev Dev. I wouldn't mind having another game go like that one. Be pretty cool. We go first. We have 4-lander, triple Restless Reef. Really, kind of like a bizarre hand here, but the fact that I have my Cruel Somnophage enabled compels me to keep it. I can always, let's actually drop the Underground River first. Let's go for this. We hit 3 lands and 1 creature. A lot of green sources there too, unfortunately. And now we play Honest Rustine, and we bring back your boy. They play Lisa Sunslayer. Oh. Okay. I could develop the Restless Reef, but to be honest, like, I'd rather just, like, curve out with both of these. So, I'm gonna play you, and then I can play you. with double kicker. We hit pretty well there. They're gonna go black and they could potentially level up the bandit's talent. And we draw Chupacabra just in time. Ain't that sweet? Have a board that they cannot ignore and they cannot focus on their discard nonsense. Though that into that would have been okay. Nice. We connect with the Gitrog, which means we can sack Chupacabra to draw 3 cards. And then we're gonna drop you and you. And we're gonna play you. And keep that force in hand so the bandit's talent is not triggering. With those restless reefs, we are applying crazy pressure here. That's what this deck is about, man. Beating them down. Beating them down. Chupacabra Echo really opened up the path for us because this Glisa was completely halting our offense. Oh shit, Vraska. This guy's got like some... I have to like read the cards because all of his art is different. Okay. Well, that's kind of rude. Aren't you just dead? What am I missing here? Like, I was like, I had so much shit I could do, but I was like, I don't know. Like, can Vraska like style? Like, I feel like I have to learn every card because like they have like alternate art for everything. I mean, not gonna lie, it's pretty dope. they're just kind of like wide open to die, and it's just like okay. The HUSKBUSTER Swarm, ladies and gentlemen. The Swarm putting in the work. Let's go for another one. Hired gun. Older than me. Okay. We have a 3-drop into a 4-drop. It's an expensive hand, but it is a 3-lander. But if we face mono red going first, yeah. If we face mono red going first, we're in trouble. Because we're wide open the first couple of turns. They miss a land, but that also means that they have a lot. And I mean a lot of cards in hand. We hit 2 lands, which sucks. But we also enable Chupacabra. How strong are you? You're weak still. Okay, to be expected. Down to 13. Blooming Marsh. We have to go with you. If I pay you for green, kicker for you should be no damage. Okay, a 3/4. Would have liked it to be a little bit bigger. The moment they hit that second land, their hand is so packing that it's gonna be something. To be expected. And if my Urborg was a little bit bigger, But we hit too many lands. And it really did make a difference. Okay. Okay. You can take 1 damage. 1 damage and develop an insane creature here. Or I should just double up actually. Play you into you. Bring in the big guns and trying to outmuscle them. We both screwed like they. Oh Jesus! Okay. Okay. I need to keep this Urtai resurrected in the back, or just play the Skyfisher Spider actually. Kill the Slick Shot Show Off. This puts them. If they don't block into this, like I bring them down. And now if they clear my Skyfisher Spider to try to attack with that, we heal. If not, we have a total of like, we have a lot of health here. But they could still like go like crazy. No trample or anything. We take action and we're out of the red. It's over. It's over. That was the turn for them to kill us. That was the turn for them to kill us. And now we quite simply Urtai for the win! Okay. Okay. Oh, we survived. We survived the onslaught. They missed a land, but to be fair, they kept the 1-lander. It's on them. You know, and them not having more lands means their hand is packed with shit. So that's also like really scary. Like a lot of times when you face mono red, you're like, oh, they don't have a second land. It's like, dude, do not get comfortable. Because the moment they find that second land, guess who's gonna have like 1,000,000 1-mana fucking plays, and they're gonna chain like crazy. So it's actually scary. Like a mono red, it's way less scary to face a mono red that floods than a mono red that gets mana screwed, because ultimately, eventually they're gonna draw that land, and then they're just gonna have a lot of fuel, and you don't want mono red with fuel. So keep that in mind. I wasn't feeling safe there at any moment. But we got out of it. Oh god, this avatar. Yeah. Oh yeah. Underground mortuary. Let's keep that reef there because. Okay, here we go again. We hit 3 creatures, that's good. Where are you at? A 3/3? That's just not enough. I could play Urgurf, but we'll play you. We do hit 2 creatures there. We're gonna drop you. We have a Deathcap Baronet now that can trade into them. Oh, damn. It's a big hit. And they pick up a land. Oh, boy. Even more. Honestly, I may just be dead to this thing. Oof, unless they draw Chupacabra. And keep you in the back. We're still extremely low. We took such a massive hit and they just keep drawing the show-offs. So, another side of the same story. Look at that. Sometimes they just have the nuts. And we just do not have enough removal. I cry every time. Masulo. Okay. This works. It's a 4-lander. We have all Sultai colors available, and we got the mill as well. We can lead off with the Vermin, giving us a target for Honest Roosting already. Seems we're facing Golgari, but it's some sort of like reactive deck, so we gotta be... Can't fall asleep here. I'm gonna drop that Deathcat Marionette to beef up my graveyard here. We have the Ancient One. I can swing that. That Restless Cottage is not relevant next turn because they need a total of 4 mana outside of it to enable it as an attacker, so we're not going to play around that. But we are going to play Honest Roosting. Probably going to be answered here, but it's going to allow us to bring in Urtai Resurrected, which is going to be really important. Even if our opponent has information on it, it's still a counterspell. Yeah, I don't mind this. I'm going to preserve this counter spell for a little bit later. Like, I do want to develop Urborg here.
Metal is eternal.
That's fine.
That is stone flesh.
See what we draw here. Okay, no Chupacabra or anything. Would have been nice. I'm going to keep the Urtai Resurrected open while I develop onto the board. I'm not going to trigger the Urborg here just because I want to spread out while still having Urtai enabled. They can use Vraska one more time to basically... Okay, I'm going to let that go through.
Phyrexia's influence still grows. Gaze into my eyes.
And I'm going to swing. Oh, that's a hit. That's a hit. That's a big hit. Okay. What do you got for us? You have 4, 6, 8 mana. Main phase 2, up the Beanstalk, 6 mana. You board wipe, you lose. You board wipe, you lose. So what do you have? Just remove for that? No, you're dead. Let's go. I gotta make a deck around her. Or him. The thing. Seeing it now just membered me. Or made me member. I can't English, man. I cannot English. Okay, exile a card from their hand. I need the 3 lands. I'm gonna drop the Chupacabra. And I'm gonna keep the 9 vermin in hand because if they have another discard effect, then I'd rather like just discard this. Seems to be what they're all about. I want to get this in there. Though, to be fair, I play into Liliana. Or that. But now I can just Honest Rustin and bring it back. Generating us some card advantage here, which is needed. Want to mill a little bit here. I can always Skyfish a Spider later. But I really want to make use of my Honest Rustin's ability right now. So they clearly have removal and they're deciding what to go for. They're going to cut down the Honest Rustin, which pumps up the Cruel Somnophage, and then they're going to do that. And I guess at this point, just getting rid of the Ancient One. Dealing with that. Can I please get a land? Can I please draw a land? Thank you. Why did the auto tapper work like that? I just took wait, what happened here? I placed this. I had to tap this in order to tap. Oh my god, this auto tapper is just not to be trusted. It just cost me 1 damage there for no reason because it didn't know what my play was gonna be. Before we draw. Punch through. Punch through. We have to be relentless. We have to be relentless. How about a land? Oh my god, not that fucking land. Are you serious? Ah, man, that's unfortunate.
I'll have this fight finished before brunch. Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
we go face. Because I don't think they have an answer. Let's go! Alright, like, can I run into, like, some knot? Like, I feel like right now, we're in a situation where black is just everywhere. And obviously, like, I'm playing black myself, right? But I'm talking about, like, the same version of, like, the same deck, you know, like, the same black, mono black, like, discard shit. It's like, it's literally there it is again. It's incessant. Let's drop that underground mortuary now. Let's keep the Restless Reef there because we need lands. We can play the Dark Slick Shores now. And develop the Ancient One. Why not? You could have removal. Let's get it out of them. We're expecting that, so let's trade. Could have also been a good turn to play the Restless Reef, but I don't want to play Urborg for just 3 when I can play it for 4. So I'm going to develop the 9 Vermin. It seems we're facing Rakdos. And we managed to hit a creature there. You're going to waste a cut down on this. Be my guest. Okay, so they have removal. That much we know. Happy to see that. We could use a little bit more green. We got enough blue, so let's go Land of our Wastes. And let's work for that kicker. That full-on kicker. A lot of lands. But that's good that we got all that shit in the graveyard. Like, now we're more likely to draw into actual stuff. Okay, there we go. Urtai is something that I'm happy to see. I don't want to go for the Restless. I could go for the Restless Reef now, but I feel like it's important for us to keep the mana open. So let's swing with Urborg. Let's see what they got. They have a go for the throat. We are okay with that. I mean, it sucks, but we're not gonna waste our Urtai for it. I could have played you without the mill. Next turn I probably will. Trying to get cheeky on us. Well, we're gonna develop you. Apply some pressure. I should have developed this one turn earlier. I need to think about what I'm doing. I'm playing a little bit too fast. Like, I should have developed Urborg one turn earlier to be able to threaten them. There's no excuse for not doing that. They're out of gas. They play Virtue of Persistence. The question is, can they persist? If I had played this one turn earlier, they wouldn't have. But, okay. Let's see. Let's play you first. Mill. Okay, so that's 14. We need to mill 3 creatures. 3 creatures. Let me do the math real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 18 cards in my graveyard. 10 are creatures. 8 lands there. 8 lands. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 lands. I have 10 lands left in my deck. Out of the 30 cards, 10 are lands. Out of the 30 cards, 10 are lands. So I'm going for it. Because if I hit 3 creatures, it's over. 1, 2, 3. Clean!